Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with the video.
My stepsister is a true troublemaker forever, and you cannot stop her from getting into issues. She does not only create difficulty for herself, but will make sure to give you a tough time too. My mom remarried after my dad dumped her for his AP. I was only 4 years old when we moved in with my new dad. My sister was born after 2 years and is almost 6 years younger than me. We are very close and share a very strong bond, but she is very stubborn and a bit selfish. She makes her own decisions, which are mostly the worst ones, but we would never learn from her mistakes and would jump to the next bad decision. The reason for this behavior could also be that she had always been a favorite kid of my parents and has also been closest to my heart. Her mistake is quickly forgiven, and she was punished far less than we were in childhood. On the other hand, being the older kid, I was expected to be sensible and well-mannered. My sister was just in college when she announced to us that she wanted to get married to her boyfriend. My parents told her that she was too young and should focus on her studies instead. She was not ready to listen to anyone and took a stand. I tried to discuss the matter with her, but as usual, she felt that she was the wisest soul to walk on earth. I told her that she could at least wait until she graduated. She replied that we would then ask her to wait until she landed a job. I told her that it was the only sensible way and that she was not responsible enough for such a relationship. I told her that she could at least get established and afford a separate space. Also, as she was willing to marry her boyfriend, who was also her class fellow, it was definite that he was quite young and could not make such a big responsibility. My sister was not ready to listen to any one of us. We stopped talking about it, and even though she initiated the topic, we would change the subject. We knew that there was no way we could convince her, so it was better to stay quiet and let her stay in her bubble. One day she exploded at the dinner table as no one was giving attention to her and told us that if we did not agree, she would marry him in the church and would never return to us. Our dad got very worried and told her that he would like to meet the guy first. Our dad was not satisfied at all, as according to him, the guy was quite young and seemed irresponsible. He also told my sister that as the guy would not be able to afford a separate space, she would have to live with her in-laws, to which my sister had already agreed. My sister got married right after her exams while I had to move to another city as I had landed a great job. Just after a few months passed, I started getting news about my sister's troubled life. She would call me and complain about how she had made a blunder and her husband was not supportive at all. She would also say that her mother-in-law wanted her to share the responsibility of the house and help her with house chores. I told her that we had tried our best, but she chose these issues for herself. That was the time when she found out that she was expecting. Last week, my sister had a terrible fight with her husband and came to this city to stay with me. She has not told our parents about the fight or about her coming to stay with me. She has always been very beloved to me, but I cannot spend my whole life correcting her mistakes or taking the responsibility. I do not know how to tell her to go back to her husband, but I cannot simply afford to keep her with me and take the responsibility when she is pregnant. AITA? I am here with an update after 4 years. My sister's marriage has always been troubled and her issues just do not get resolved. She did not go to the university as she was expecting by then and could not manage her studies and her kids side by side. Now, after 4 years, she had 2 kids and countless issues in her life. Her husband is still studying and also does a part-time job, but he does not make enough to afford a separate house, so they are bound to live with his parents. My sister often comes to live with me and this disturbs my routine as well as my life. I am engaged now, and my fiancé and I live together. My sister comes to stay as she says that she needs a break from her troubled marriage so she could get some peace at my place. My fiancé has complained several times about this and has said that it is not fair at all, and even if she needed a break, she could go to our parents' house. I tried to discuss this with my sister, but she gets emotional and says the moral support she gets from me is what she needs the most. My sister was here with her kids and had told us that she was going to stay for a week or so. One night, my sister's younger kid could not sleep and cried the whole night. My husband and I could not sleep well and also had to go to work the next day. My husband was furious the next morning and told me that he would shift to his friend's apartment until she was there. I tried to apologize, but he left for work. I was, of course, enraged and told my sister to leave right away. She wept and tried to blackmail me emotionally, but I did not listen to her and told her that I did not want to see her when I came home from work. When I returned, she had left already and I found a letter. She had written that she was so sick and tired of her life and confessed that it was all because of her ill decisions. She also said that my place was the only place where she felt relieved, but was now kicked out of here too. She kept on and said that she knew she was disturbing my personal life and would never return now. My heart is aching right now. I cannot express how much I have in my heart for behaving like a bitch. AITA? It has been 8 years since my sister got married, and now she is a mother to 5 beautiful kids. I got married 3 years ago to my then fiancé. I apologized to my sister soon after that incident, and things got quite better between us. She acted sensibly and avoided coming over when it was not that necessary. Also, as her responsibility had increased, she got busy and could not come over to spend weeks. Her relationship with her husband had turned rocky, and the reason could be that both of them were already tired of their marriage. They chose to take responsibility at a very young age, and it seemed like all their energy had drained now. My sister had told my parents that she felt like she had to step out of the marriage and file for divorce, as the marriage was now consuming her mental health. My parents were reluctant, as she had 5 kids now, but they could not compromise on her mental health, so they supported her. My sister got divorced and moved to our parents' house. Not even 6 months passed after her divorce when she announced that she was in love with someone and wanted to remarry. My parents were furious and told her that they already had suffered a lot because of her decisions, but now they would not allow her. She was very stubborn again toward this guy she had met over the internet. My parents had to give in and grant her permission to get married to that guy, as he was from another state and needed to make the arrangements to take my sister with him. He asked for time, but my sister could not wait. He told her that his parents were against this marriage, and he could not take her to their house, so he had to rent a place for them. My sister told him that the couple could stay at my place until that guy could arrange a place. She had decided everything without even asking me, so I kept quiet and thought to myself that this will pass. My sister got married, and both the couples, she and her husband, me and my husband, came back to our house. My husband was very bothered, but did not say anything. I also did not say anything, and I'm waiting for them to leave. My sister and her husband left as soon as her husband had arranged an apartment. Her kids were with our mom all this time, so she had to pick them up first and then travel to the other state. I was relieved to my core, as now not only had she settled down at last, but also had gone far away, and it was less likely she would visit every other weekend. But my relief did not seem to last long. A month went by smoothly, and then she called to inform us that she was planning her honeymoon, but could not decide where to drop her kids off, as she could not take them along with her. I could see the bull reaching to hit me, and promptly said that she could send them to our mom's place, to which she replied that our mom was old and could not take care of her kids. I tried to change the subject, then cut the call. A week passed, and she called to tell me that she was leaving for her honeymoon in a day or two and was going to drop her kids at my house tomorrow until she came back. She told me that she would try to come back early so it could take her 2 weeks. Before I had argued, she had cut the call. I had to escape this trouble. I called my husband, who was in his office, and told him the whole situation. He told me that he was going to book tickets and we were leaving ASAP for a vacation before she arrived, and dropped her responsibility. We flew to the capital that evening, and the next day we were nowhere to be seen at our place. The house was, of course, locked. She went to our mom's place, dropped her kids there, and complained about how mean I was. My mom told me the whole story, and I was not even sorry. NTA, you had to take a stand against her as you were not responsible for her bullshit decisions. Understandably, you loved her so much, but how could you let her exploit you and then emotionally blackmail you? You seem far more sensible, but your sister seemed like a nutcase. Hope she gets some sense knocked into her head. NTA, OP's sister was just a spoilt brat who needed some sense and some training. I was amazed at her parents and how could they let her ruin her own life. She was stubborn and psycho, but it was their duty to stop her from taking the worst decisions and ending up getting into lifelong issues. The way she was ready for another marriage right after her divorce showed how irresponsible and senseless she was. I do not think she will ever change or stop creating trouble.
Next story.
When my mom, 36, was 19, she had a boy, Mark, that her parents made her give up. I, 14, female, was born after my mom got a degree and worked as a hospital tech, so she got to keep me. 2 years ago, the person who took Mark died because it was an open adoption and she didn't have any other relatives. She gave my mom a chance to have him. I don't know the legal whatevers of how it works, but she got him back and he's with us now. Honestly, it feels like Mark's the kid she always wanted, while I'm the replacement she made because she couldn't have him. To give examples, he's going into engineering and loves hearing about her work and the machines she uses, and I don't. He loves hugs, and she hugs him every chance she gets, gives him random hair massages and kisses on the cheek, and I hate physical affection. They both love basketball, and I suck, so they play together. She always gives him cute nicknames like baby boy, big man, and stuff, and I don't get those. It's like ever since he came here, IG has been all about him. There's parts where she calls him the perfect child and her greatest blessing and all. The day he started calling her mom, she put up a post saying it was the best day of her life. I know some stuff is my fault, but it still adds up in my head because if I were interested, then maybe she'd be close to me. Honestly, I love Mark. He's really cool, and I don't want to feel jealous of him because he is the best, and I get why Mom loves him so much. Yesterday, I got my marks back for my English essay, and I got a perfect 10 on it, which nobody has done yet. I wanted to tell my mom, but she was gushing about a robotics contest that Mark won and how incredible it was. When I told her, she didn't care. Said, good job, and she'll get me a Dairy Queen on the weekend. It made me so mad, and I got angry and said she loves Mark more than me and would have cared if he did it. She got mad, said that isn't true, and I need to think before I say something so selfish. Since last night, it's been tense with Mom, and I heard her crying in her room last night, and I don't know if I'm wrong. I told my best friend, and he told me I was a total a-hole to my mom, so I'm wondering if I am. NTA, your mom wouldn't have been crying in her room if what you said didn't hit home. Had he gotten that perfect score, she likely would have gushed over it, and she freaking knows it. What you said wasn't selfish at all. It was an uncomfortable truth that she didn't like hearing coming out of your mouth. I'm sad your best friend attacked you too. Isn't your friend aware of how you've become an afterthought since Mark moved into your home? Did she think you were just supposed to keep taking these emotional hits left and right while saying nothing for the next half decade or so? Just keep pumping out those good grades because that's what you need to be successful in the future. It'll also make it possible for you to be able to distance yourself from people who don't properly value you. And one day, you can make your own family, get your own spouse, and raise your own kids while being mindful of how blatant favoritism is toxic to engage in.
Next story.
I, 34, female, am the oldest granddaughter. My mom is the only girl in her family and has 3 brothers. My uncles are generally all good, but there's been some drama after my grandma died in 2020. My grandpa was still alive, but with late-stage Alzheimer's. So the family took care of him until he passed in January. My mom's oldest brother, the other 2 are younger than her, is the executor of the trust and they are working on getting it settled. For some further context, my grandma was sick for a very long time. My mom moved in with them to care for her and my grandpa in May of 2019 until my grandma passed in October 2020. I lived next door, so I helped out a lot. Did all the shopping, took over so my mom could have a break and eat, shower, rest. When my grandma was in hospital, I stayed with my grandpa. My grandma was an awesome lady, constantly serving others and giving, even when she was so sick. When she was going through chemo, she was still trying to make the meals for our families and always paid for Christmas presents for others who couldn't afford it. She was also always doing things for her family, babysitting, letting people live with her, including me. Her constantly giving, however, made her a target for being used. The loan money to most everyone, tens of thousands of dollars, one cousin borrowed $40,000. Everyone only came around when they needed something. Even when she was weeks away from dying, one of my cousins and an uncle borrowed money from her. Then she died, and no one came around again until my grandpa's passing. I was extremely close with her. I visited her almost every day. And when I lived further away, I visited every weekend. My parents lived in another state until 2019. So while I'm close with my parents, I was arguably closer with her for a long time. Anyway, in the trust, my mom inherited her wedding dress, wedding rings, and her car. Before she died, while my mom was in the room, she gave me her wedding rings. My mom is happy with this. One joke I had with my grandma was that she wasn't allowed to die until I got married, and that I was never going to get married, so she would live forever. So now that I'm planning my wedding, I'm very sad that she won't be there. But to keep her with me, I'm using the rings and I'm wearing her dress. I'm having the dress slightly altered. My uncle and some of my cousins are mad that I got all the good stuff and that it doesn't technically belong to me, so I shouldn't flaunt it and that it's hurtful to the girls. But it's not like they didn't get things as well. Everyone got something special, and even the dress isn't mine, it's my mom's, and I feel like she can do with it what she wants. I wouldn't wear it if she didn't want me to. I also don't currently have a car, so I'm buying my grandma's car from my mom. But I haven't told anyone yet because I'm afraid to cause more drama. These things are very special to me, but I don't want everyone to feel shafted or resent me more. AITA? NTA. Sadly, a death in the family often leads to this sort of behavior, where the decent, caring folks are made to feel like a-holes for getting anything by the vultures who come to raid and plunder the estate because they feel entitled to it. OP absolutely can and should include her inherited items in the wedding. Anyone who will throw a hissy fit over it doesn't need an invite. Seriously, what is the uncle going to do with the dress?